Hi, Morgan. Are we ready to start?
It looks like we have the court reporter and the two attorneys. We do not yet have Miss Franklin.
Okay. Well, let's get started. We don't know if she's coming anyway. If you could bring them in, I'll ask them if they know if she's coming.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, good afternoon, Council and Ms. Is it Kyla?
Yes.
Or Kyla?
Shyla.
Kyla. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Let me call the case. This is a Court of Claims matter. It is Vicki Franklin-Aleo versus State of Michigan, DBA Michigan State Police, and Alan Joseph Mater. It's case number 19-000116MZ. We are here today on the plaintiff's motion to compel the plaintiff to sign the settlement check. Just so that you know, Counsel and Ms. Tyler, my last Zoom from my office, which is where I am at the moment, ended badly because the internet connection went down. So I'm hoping that today is a better day. That was Friday. So I'm hoping today is a better day. But if something happens, I'm on my laptop. I'm going to move my laptop to a different room in the court, which I think might have better reception. So there we are. Okay, Mr. Is it Teat?
Teed, yes. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Would you like to set the stage here for us today?
Yes, this is our motion to distribute the settlement funds and allow our firm to endorse the settlement check. This matter has been settled for actually quite some time. Ms. Franklin signed the release of claims, and we had a pending secondary matter with her PIP claim against Allstate. And Ms. Franklin wouldn't sign the settlement check from this case while litigating the case against Allstate. She wanted to wait until that case was resolved to sign the check here and distribute the funds. That case resolved. She wouldn't sign the settlement check in that case. She wouldn't sign the settlement check in this case. I had to file this exact same motion in the case against Allstate to have the settlement check endorsed and deposit the funds with the Kent County clerk. So we're looking for similar relief here. We want to distribute the funds to Ms. Franklin as quickly as possible. She has just not been cooperating, and I can't sign a check without a power of attorney from her, which I don't have, or her actually physically signing the check, which she has not cooperated with our office in doing. I think I kind of laid out in our motion all the attempts that we've been making to get that situated. I've gone to her house multiple times, partly for the case against Allstate, but also brought the check with me there. She wouldn't sign. Myself and another attorney at the firm went to her house to get it signed. She wouldn't sign it. I've communicated to her that I am open whenever she needs me to be available to sign the check, and she has not communicated with us regarding that.
What happened in the other case, in the first party no fault case?
The case resolved. Judge Trusock, it resolved at facilitation also with the same facilitator that we used in this case. Ultimately, Judge Trusock from Kent County granted our motion to endorse the settlement check there. distribute the funds with the clerk of the circuit court. We deposited the funds with the clerk of the circuit court. And actually, we got an email probably about maybe a month ago that she had not picked up those funds yet, and that they were sending the funds directly to her address. So I had to do an order on that case to provide them the address as to where to send the funds to, and notify Vicki that those funds were going out to her. And that's what we did.
Have you had any communication with her since serving her in this case?
No.
Okay. Ms. Waddell, I don't mean to ignore you. Do you have anything you'd like to add or any position you'd like to take? I certainly would be interested in hearing it.
No, Your Honor, the state doesn't oppose the motion. In fact, we'd probably like this to get off of our books because Treasury doesn't like checks hanging out there. So we don't oppose the motion.
What do you suggest, Mr. Teat? What do you suggest that, do you have a proposed order that you can provide first, Ms. Waddell, and then the court?
Yeah, I'll probably use an order similar to what I used in the PIP case. It's essentially an order that will allow our firm to endorse the settlement check. I believe I attached a copy of the check in this. If I did not, I can provide the court a copy of the check. So allow us to endorse the settlement check. And then we had a proposed distribution that I believe I sent under seal to the court. That number is subject to some minor changes because the Medicare number will increase with minimal interest. So what I would propose to the court is allow us to endorse the settlement check, have those funds clear, and then allow us to distribute the funds and deposit a check to the clerk of the court for Ms. Franklin's net proceeds.
You know, is there a court rule that speaks to this? I'm sorry for my ignorance on it. But, you know, I would doubt that the clerk of our court has ever done that before.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant, but maybe he's done it and he'll know how to do it.
I scoured the court rules. I could not find a court rule on it. I was just trying to find the best way to deposit the funds. That's what we did in Kent County here, but I understand that the Court of Appeal or the Court of Claims may not have the ability to do that. I am happy to send a check directly to Ms. Franklin via FedEx with tracking on it, if that's what the court would like.
Yeah, I think that would be preferable. I don't want to involve our clerk's office in an endeavor that they've never, you know, had any experience with, and I'm pretty confident will resist. So I want to respect them and their right to resist. I want the record to reflect during this hearing that I entered an order that counsel appear for this hearing. The order required several different methods of service on Ms. Franklin-Aleo. I've received proofs of service indicating that she was redundantly served with notice of this hearing today in every way that my order called for. The record should also reflect, it does reflect that we're on Zoom. I've made that clear. Ms. Franklin-Aleo has been provided with the Zoom invitation and the Zoom address by both counsel, her own counsel, and by our clerk. So she's gotten that information in several different ways at several different times, and she has not appeared. It is now, the hearing was set for 2:00. It's now 2:11, and she has not appeared. The clerk who's handling this hearing today was instructed to let her in immediately if she did join the Zoom, and she obviously has not joined. So I'm going to grant the motion. to compel to compel the endorsement of the check, whether it's by her, which I guess would be sort of ridiculous, but at this point, but I'm going to allow you to endorse the check. If you'd send me an order to that effect, with distribution of the proceeds occurring through your office rather than through the court, I'd appreciate it. And of course, run it by Ms. Waddell, who I anticipate would approve it as to form, if that's okay, Ms. Waddell. Okay. You were muted, but I thought I saw you say yes. I read your lips and you
Sorry,
said yes.
my mouse is slow. Yes, I would.
Okay,
approve it to form.
okay. All right. Is there anything else that the court needs to think about or to consider this afternoon?
The last thing I would just ask the court is, in that order, I'll indicate that we are have the ability to distribute Ms. Franklin's net settlement proceeds to her directly via FedEx, and that the net settlement proceeds will be distributed upon the final lien amount from Medicare. We've already put in a request for that, so we should be getting that shortly here. So pending that letter, that notification, we'll be sending that out to Ms. Franklin, and we'll send out a copy of the check that'll be cut to Medicare, along with their final statement.
Very good. That sounds like a good plan to me. Ms. Trilla, I don't need a copy of this transcript. I don't know. Does council wish to order it? And if so, you can maybe do it off the record or do it however you want to do it. But I imagine you could communicate right now if that's what you need to do.
I don't need a copy right now. Thank you.
I do not either, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll await the stipulated order, and I'm hoping that Ms. Franklin-Aleo will relent. So
I hope so too. I'll try to get that together here in the next day or two and get that over to everybody, for Ms. Waddell to review and sign, and then Judge will get that over to you.
great. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank you,
great
Anna.
day. I'm glad our Zoom connection is better today. You can't imagine how frustrating it was last week, but we're good today. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Your Honor.